So hello guys, welcome to my channel Comicia. Today I am going to tell you the comic of Batman Annual 2nd Part 2. So before I start the comics, let's roll the intro. So let's start the comic. So in the first scene we see Catwoman was cracking the Batman's roof, and she says again and again, sorry, this is not Catwoman says, this says Batman. And again Batman says, why? They both are top of the Batman house. And Catwoman says, why should really appreciate all this. You ever try palming a live mouse? They are very squirmy. And Batman says, why? Catwoman says, isn't it obvious? Because you are weak. You need to be better. I have to make you better. I have to teach you where you are weak, or you are going to die. And Catwoman running at the roof and says, I see it every time I see you, and I see you more than you know I see you. And then he jumped behind Batman using Batman's face, with the help of Batman's face, and says, you are so good. You have trained so well. You have mastered just about everything you can master. But under that, the cape, the mask, under there, you are still the poor little rich boy in the house on the hill. All that pain from being alone. You are still the sweet darling mouse who can't quit see the cat coming. And then she jumps to the roof, and Batman says, you don't know me. And Catwoman says, and you don't know me. Even I know enough. Batman says this. Well, and Catwoman says, well, Bat, sometimes knowing enough is just enough to want no more. And then Batman also running behind Catwoman and says, why do you care if I live or die? And Catwoman says, do you care if I live or die? And Batman says, it's different. We are different. And Catwoman says, no, Bat, that's just it. That's all of it under there. We are just the same. And Batman says, no, cat. And then Catman ran away. Sorry, Catman like Catwoman. And there's a mouse. There's always a mouse. And he says, squeak, squeak, squeak. And later about that incident, Catwoman arrived his house, and Batman at the door says, squeak. And Catwoman says, how? And Batman says, your souvenirs, the lead signature in their droppings, traced back to the paint used in this apartment. And Catwoman says, mouse poo? And Batman says, yes, mouse poo. And then Catwoman take out her mask, and Batman also take out his mask. And Catwoman says, and it doesn't take 4 mice to produce droppings, does it? You have known since the beginning and you still let me. Why? And Batman says, because sometimes I like being alone. And then I hate everything because I like it. You saw me, I see you. And then Catwoman taking a drink to Batman and her and said, great, glad you get it. You and me, the two orphans lost, who see the weak in one another. And now you want to that help me? And Batman says no. And I don't want to help you. And then Batman kiss Catwoman, and they both say hello. And Catwoman says, remember the first time we met? Did you think it would lead to this? And Batman says, I remember you on the boat when your mask came off. You are lovely. And Catwoman says, what? On the boat? No, Bat, remember, we met on the street. And Batman says, no, you are wrong. We met on the... And then many years after that, Batman says, we first met on boat. And Catwoman says, it wasn't, you are wrong. And they became married. And they are both very old. And Batman says, when I was 16 years old, I trained with the memory of the mountain. For a year, I sat with this man, learning how to forever encode my senses on my mind. I was his first pupil. He said, whoever exceeded him. That's what he said. And Catwoman says, well, that's very nice, Bat. And we still met on the street. And Batman says, no, Cat, remember we were... And then a woman come into the Batman and Catwoman's office and says, we have all the results now, I'm afraid. And then Batman and Catwoman walking in the park, and Batman says, the memory of the mountain had a 3-pack. They had it. I was supposed to be in this month's long trance, but he did kick me every few days, waking me up, asking me to go down the mountain and get him a few more cartoons. Of course, I wasn't allowed money or possession or anything, so I did have to steal them. And there was one store within hundreds of miles. The third time I did lifted a cartoon, they knew what was going on. So I started using disguise, but I didn't have money. I didn't have money for the disguises, so I had to steal those and Batman says, and then Catwoman has taken her hands to her head, and Batman says, what are you doing? Are you crying? And Catwoman says, I'm fine. And it's okay, I'm fine. And they both hug and start walking again. And Batman says, so there was this local woman who she had. And Catwoman says, a collection of bricks in a locked trunk. And Batman says, a collection of bricks in a locked trunk. And in the next scene we see Catwoman was into the roof of a building standing, and a voice says, I spoke to Zatanna and she went on the whenever she goes beyond here. She says there's not really anything to do. She says it's everyone has a time. She says that God his. This is bad girl who, and again bad girl says I'm sorry, I have to. And bad woman says, Helena, I am your father's wife. I understand, just go. And then bad girl says, yes mother. And then she arrived. So bad girl is the child of Catwoman and Batman. So this is the story comics of Batman Annual 2nd. Hope you guys enjoyed. Batman Annual 2nd has ended. And goodbye. Thanks for watching.